What type of disinfectant are you using? You know, that's always a good question. I get a lot of calls on that. People keep on asking me, you know, what disinfectant do I prefer, or which one would I recommend? And, you know, I think my answer is that there's many of them out there. And, you know, what you have to do is you have to think about if you just want to get a good all-purpose disinfectant. If that's the case, then you would get a quat. And other people, you know, they want some hospital grade disinfectant that is preferably used in hospitals and medical institutions. Well, in that case, then you want a phenolic. So that's the two differences about the disinfectants. You have a quat and you have a phenolic. So those are your two choices. The one thing also that you want to decide on is, first of all, always look at the dilution ratio of the product, because you know it's very, very important that when we're out cleaning with our disinfectants, if we're using a ready-to-use product, so you know, meaning that here we bought a gallon of product and it's ready to use, so that's all we have is the 1 gallon of product. It's not going to take us any further than that. We've got 1 gallon. Where if we were to use a disinfectant that had a good dilution ratio, such as a ½ ounce per gallon, well, now this one gallon of product is actually going to make us 256 gallons of ready-to-use product. So that's how you want to think about that. You want to look at the ready-to-use cost for that disinfectant. So whenever possible, try not to buy the ready-to-use RTUs. You know, look for something that has a good dilution ratio. And like I say, you know, it's pretty common to find where you got a ½ ounce to 1 ounce per gallon for dilution. So look for that, because you're going to get by far more product for your investment. So think of that. Now the other thing that you have to think about with disinfectants is the pH level, because the pH level will vary. You'll have some disinfectants that are neutral disinfectants, so they'll have a pH level of 7.2 to 8, possibly in that range. Now, you know, others you may find that they got a pH of 11, 12. You know, that's pretty high now, you know, on the alkaline scale. So you have to think about that, because if you've got a product that has a pH 12 and you're going to be putting that on surfaces, what could it potentially do to that surface? That's what we got to be cautious of, because think of this, because if you're doing any, let's say if you do any floor work, you know that your floor stripper usually has a pH of 11, 12. You know, that's your floor stripper. So keep that in mind. If you're using a disinfectant that has that pH of 11 or 12, now could you be doing damage to some surfaces? Well, you could, especially when you have to have a dwell time of 5 to 10 minutes on a surface. So that's giving that product plenty of time to sit and dwell and do its job of breaking down that soil or whatever else. So that's the other thing we have to think about. So once you made your decision on that, try to find something that's going to fit your needs, either an all-purpose or a phenolic, and also look for your dilution ratio, your RTUs, and what is the pH. If we do that, we should be in pretty good shape. And make sure that also something that you got to check is make sure that that product can actually be used in some of these electrostatic sprayers and foggers. In some cases they can't be. So make sure that whatever product you're buying, that it can be used in the electrostatic sprayers and the foggers. If not, then your only alternative is a spray and wipe method by hand, which is fine too. But you know, that's really the choices you have, because when we are offering these types of services, we're going to either be doing a spray and wipe type service, or we're going to be spraying with electrostatic sprayer, or we're going to be fogging. But those are the things that you got to consider when you're purchasing your disinfectant. So thanks for checking in today, and we'll see you next time.